Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about the importance of software testing as well as the testing approaches which are used to test the software. To know the importance of software testing, now let us look at a real-world example of a software failure, the Ariane 5 rocket. On June 4th, 1996, the Ariane 5 rocket was launched by European Space Agency. However, within the just 37 seconds after launch, the rocket exploded and was destroyed. The failure was mainly caused by software error. The software used in Ariane 5 was actually reused from the earlier Ariane 4 rocket. But Ariane 5 had differently complete scenario with different flight conditions and it was much more powerful. Because of this, Ariane 5 generated higher values during its flight. One important value was velocity, which means the speed of rocket along with its direction. In Ariane 5, especially the horizontal velocity was much higher than what the old software expected. The software tried to store this larger value by converting it into a smaller data type, but the value was too big, which caused an overflow error. Since this error was not properly handled, the system shut down. After that, both the main and backup systems failed and the incorrect data was sent to the control system. This made the rocket behave abnormally and leading to its self-destruction. This failure resulted in huge financial loss of around 370 to 500 million dollars. In simple terms, we can say the rocket crashed because the software could not handle large value, showing how even a small software mistake can lead to a major disaster. So the rocket crashed because why? Because the rocket crashed means because the velocity of this rocket was much higher than the previous rocket. So the velocity value is higher, but we are allocated a small amount of memory to store the value. So the system tried to convert that larger value to a smaller value, but it could not be happen because the conversion is not happen properly, which is not handled properly in the software. So the system could not handle the situation and it gets shut down. So because of this, we got a financial loss of around 372 500 millions dollars. So from this we can understand that why software testing is very much important. Let us look into another example. This is just a simple ticket booking application. Here, just look into it. What are the important fields in the application? Here, some of the main fields are from city to city, and then date of journey, passenger count, search train buttons, filter buttons, journey detail section, departure info, passenger detail section, total fare or price, and then continue button. We are having these important fields in the application. So if you are a normal user, okay, you know how to use the application and you understand the meaning of each and every field means how you will go means first you will select the source city and then you will select the destination city. Then you will choose the travel date. The travel date will be a future date and you will select the class or coach type, for example 3A or sleeper or like that, and you will select the number of passengers, how many number of passengers you are in the traveling. So for example one adult, and you will give the passenger details, name, age, gender, and you will give birth preference. Then total fare will be displayed based on the information whatever you have given above, and then you will click the continue button. Suppose if you don't know about the application and you know how to use it means, then how an incorrect user will give the details. So they may have chosen same from and to, and they might try to choose the past date, and they will choose the invalid passenger data, and the mandatory fields they will leave it as empty. And for choosing one option, they might have clicked multiple clicks, and the network failure may occur or wrong fare may be calculated. So these are some of the issues that may occur in the particular application. So here the tester's responsibility is to check or make sure that the system never crashes, never brooks longly, and also shows the proper error messages. So without testing, what might have happened? The system might get crashed. We can use incorrect data. For example, we have booked A1 but the system have confirmed B2, and you will get some security risks because whatever ticket you have booked, if security is not provided, for example the login system is not available, means some other people can also look into your data, and poor user experience. The user flow should be very much effective. It should be understandable by the user. They should not get frustrated by the application. And business loss or financial errors, users should not be allowed to pay twice, or the total fare which is calculated should be correct, as well as because and another thing is that we can find if we find the bugs early, which will be cheaper, while if we find the bugs later, it will be very difficult. So what does the testing ensures means? It ensures that application work correctly, safely and reliable before it reaches to the user. So why do we test software? So software testing is a process of evaluating the software application in order to meet the user requirements and functions correctly or not, we will check, and it is free of defects before release. To ensure these things, we are need to test the software. So it ensures product reliability, it enhances user experience, it identifies security vulnerabilities, and then it avoids the costly fixes. What are the key reasons? It can identify the defect early, it improves the software quality, and it verifies the requirements. Security and performances are also ensured, and cost efficiency. There are some of the software testing approaches we can use to test the software. So the two main software testing approaches are black box testing and then white box testing. So the testing approach means it is an overall strategy or method that we will follow to plan, organize and perform software testing in order to ensure quality. It describes how testing will be carried out at a higher level. The different types of testing approaches are black box and white box. So testing technique means it is a specific method or procedure used to design test cases. It describes how test cases are created to effectively test the software. The different types of testing techniques are equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis. So these are some of the testing techniques which are involved in the testing approaches. That is the difference between testing approach and then testing technique. It is an overall strategy. Here it mentions the specific technique in that particular strategy to test the particular case. Black box testing. So black box testing is a software testing method in which the tester evaluates the functionality of the application without any knowledge of the internal code. It is also called as functional closed box testing and behavioral testing. So this system verifies, suppose if I give input, what is the output I will get. Okay, so input as well as result. So black box verifies what the system does without considering how it is implemented. You will be having a program. For the program you will give the input and you will check for this input you are getting the correct output or not. That kind of testing is called as black box testing. So black box testing is used to validate the functionality according to the requirement document or functional specifications. So for example, if the user selects date, seat and payment correctly, the booking is successfully considered as mentioned in the requirement. And detect the interface errors. So find problems in UI like buttons or form validations, navigations, messages. For example, the book now button does not respond when it is clicked means it indicates a user interface problem. So if we have continue button means it should go to the next page. If it is not working properly means it will not move to the next page. So the UI should be working properly or not. So that interface checking is called as detecting the interface errors. Then correct system behavior. It checks whether the application is easy to use. So for any type of user, is it easy for them to use the application or not? For example, a first time user should not should not feel difficult in filling the application or completely booking the complete the booking without any confusion. So it indirectly mentions that the user is app is user friendly and it verifies the software works correctly. So in the black box testing approach, there are several black box testing techniques we can use to test the particular application. So first one is equivalence partitioning, the second one is boundary value analysis, and third one is error guessing. So what is equivalence class partitioning means? We have to divide the input data into two groups. So for example, if there are valid, if there are, there is an in application, if they have mentioned a valid age means, for example, consider 18 to 16 is a valid age for applying for this particular post or anything like that means. So what the user will test means, they will give both the type of input and they will check. So from the valid group, they will give the input and check whether they are getting the actual result. And for the invalid group also, they will from the invalid group also they will give one input and they check whether we are getting the corresponding result for that invalid option. So next one is boundary value analysis. So boundary value analysis means testing the input values at minimum and maximum limits of the allowed range. For example, consider if the password length must be 6 to 12 means, then the tester checks the length in all possible cases. They will give input with the password with 6 characters, then with 12 characters, then with 5, and then with 13. So boundaries also, so also boundary values also should be given, and then we are getting in the expected result or not, that should be tested. Then error guessing. So for example, based on our intuition that suppose if this is not given, what will happen, like that, based on our intuition also we can do testing and we can identify the errors. For example, let us consider in an application, if we left all the field empty and then we will, if we click the submit means, what happens, whether the system crashes or it requests the user to enter all the fields or like that. If we do such kind of testing, then that is called as an error guessing. So now let us see the example elaborately. So for the example of valid age, we have a age group like 18 to 60. So here we have two partitions. One is valid class and another one is invalid class. So valid class, for that input we will give between 18 to 60, and invalid class we can give input below 18 and above 60. So how can we write the test case for this? A test case will include a test case ID and the input value, what is the expected result, and what is the class type. See here, for example, I can create a test case ID like this. So TC means test case, CC means equivalence class partitioning, and the test case number is 1, so 0 1. So I am giving the input as 30, which is between the valid range. So expected result is, it is accepted. So the valid class type is valid. So I am creating another equivalence class partitioning a test case, which is number 2, with the input as 10, because the expected result is that it should get as a rejected. And then if the input age is 65 means, then it also show the expected result as rejected, and this is also class type as invalid class. So this is how you have to write the test case for the equivalence partitioning. So now we see the example of boundary value analysis. So how to write the test case for the requirement of the user. So here the requirement of the user is password length must be between 6 and 12. So for this, how can we write test case means, first test case ID with the password length, sample input, and what is the expected result. So see here, if my test case is with the password length 5 means, that is if the sample input the user has given is ABCD means, then expected result should be rejected because the password should not be accepted. Why means the user requirement is from 6 to 12. If it is 6 means it should be accepted, 7 also should be accepted, 11 also should be accepted, 12 also should be accepted, and 13 means it should be rejected because it goes beyond the 12 characters. So here if we want to test the user requirements, we have to write the test cases like this. So thank you.